pretty smart.
and my head is already big enough, so that was distressing.
Yeah, I mean, I could
Yeah, so I did
probably
that, and then I dragged it
do
over. Basically, is
this.
hey, look at that! Not a
That
bad looking fella there.
should work mostly.
So I'm gonna share it now because this does seem like it's working.
Okay, welcome all. This is Wilkie's World Wanderings, and we have our special guest, it's Justin Whitaker, joining us. So, for anybody that is watching, we're so glad to have you here. Kale Roble, thank you for sticking with us through technical difficulties. It is finally almost done. Okay, so on that point, Justin. So obviously you started in writing. Um, so what was you, and I know this might be a hard question. When was the first moment that you wanted to start writing?
This one is actually an easy question for me.
Okay.
I'm gonna take one of these out because for some reason the audio is not coming through the way I want.
Okay.
So I've got
That's
one headphone in. Don't you worry about it. It's not on you.
well,
It
it
is.
could be because I didn't have my mic necessarily right there.
Eh. Hey, I can hear well enough.
Oh, good.
So what's funny is this is the obvious question, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I know the exact origin story, if you will, of why I wanted to tell stories. And it held off for a while, but
Hey,
I knew
Banjo.
why. Oh no, no kidding. Banjo. Hey Banjo. Banjo, Kitty, KL Roble. Famous
Yep.
author KL Roble. Thank you for
Yeah, we
joining
got a
us.
few of us.
Right? So I was, I believe, 13. It was the year 2000, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Time is an inexorable march, man. Oh my goodness, it's hard to believe I'm 38.
Oh, I
But
can I can understand.
it was my birthday at a certain point in time, whenever my birthday
Okay.
is, and my mom took me to Toys R Us. If people remember that little cultural artifact, but for my birthday present, she said, "Get any game you want," and I had an N64. And if you remember, I don't know if you had a Toys R Us near you growing up.
I did.
Did you ever go in the video game aisle? Did they have just the printed? You get the slip of paper and you bring it up to the front, and then they go retrieve the game for you.
Yes, I did.
Oh, okay. That's a little cultural memory, right? That's a little
Yeah.
nostalgia.
Yeah, I mean, you wouldn't believe this, but I am actually older than you
Are you? No
by
kidding. Come on.
by just over 3 years.
I thought you were like 30.
I know, it's great, isn't it?
Great for you and not so great for me, huh? Look at this.
No, you look like you're barely in your early 30s, so you're doing just fine.
I do look like I'm barely in my early 50s. You're right.
Did not say that. That did not say that, Justin.
So I'm walked in there and I go down the aisle into the Nintendo 64 aisle, and I
Mm-hmm.
see a video game I never
Hi,
heard of
Sean.
before called Ogra Battle. That is not the name. It's
Oh.
Ogre Battle. I didn't know what an
Aha.
ogre was.
Okay.
It was Ogre Battle 64. It's really the only good role playing game that the N64 got. And for some reason, just looking at the cover and then reading the back, you flip it up and it has like the information on the back on the wall in mine. And I was just like, this is the one I want. And that was the first role playing game I played. So prior to that, the N64 had kind of primed me for this because I had Star Fox 64,
Mm-hmm.
which had, the companion characters in it, sort of. So that was like the primer. And I had played Harvest Moon 64, which, I mean, my God, that's kind of the progenitor of the whole cozy thing, even
Oh
more
yeah.
than the original Harvest Moon, because I don't think as many people played that one compared to, I don't know. Did you
Hey,
ever play any of those?
I did. I did. I
All of the
did.
above, or just a couple?
Just a couple. Um, the the weird story behind mine is the fact that I grew up in a military family. So whenever we got chances to receive games, we'd grab what we could, but we didn't always afford everything. So we could go and get one, and then that had to basically last you for the next year, year and a half, two
Oh,
years, just depending on how long we were at a location. So,
then
but it's
we're
okay.
yeah, I totally get that. So I take this game home and I am swept off to a world of a fantasy world, which
Mm-hmm.
that's no coincidence that I write fantasy in lit RPG. My book series is Wraith Wizard Ascendant, Wraith Wizard Commander,
Mm-hmm.
and it isn't. It doesn't really copy things in a classical sense from Ogre Battle 64, but the sort of the ethos of it, the
Mm-hmm.
idea behind kind of what it's presenting of a war, um, a war that isn't always very easy to
Mm-hmm.
like uh, define where who's good and who's bad, who's the good guy, who's the bad. Like there's
Mm-hmm.
gradations in between, and it has a fantastical quality to it. All of these things really took root in me, where you have like the grounded sort of political thing as well as the fantastical thing with it, and then much later on, like I played role playing games my entire life, the classic BioWare games, the classic Obsidian games. Where are you?
Mm-hmm.
Where is that? Oh, I had it here and I moved it back to its spot, but
I'm sure it's
I
there.
had I made a TikTok video of the one of the only the two collector's editions of a video game I have. One of them is Fallout New Vegas.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Yeah. So I did a TikTok video of that, just opening it up and showing it, and
Mm-hmm.
that game was what 2010, right?
Yep.
Huge impact on me. Mass Effect 1 in 2007, Dragon Age Origins in 2009.
Mm-hmm.
Shadowrun Hong Kong, a very unsung game from 2015, I believe it was, and many other games of that ilk. Final Fantasy VII was a huge impact, but all of these games led to I want to do basically this, and lit RPG
Mm-hmm.
is the way to do it because um, the number go up is however you want to do it, so long as you have it. Um, oh, thank you, Kitty. You don't have to share it that many times. Shared the video 6 times.
I
Appreciate
very
you.
much appreciate. It probably means that she shared it with individual people all along the way, and so
Oh, no kidding. No, I just assumed it was a platform
nope,
quirk.
nope.
Okay,
I've
thank you.
I've done it before. So
Oh, and thank you, Banjo, for sharing, and thank you, everyone, for sharing. So
yes.
that's why I always say that it's a love letter to video game role playing games more
Mm-hmm.
than it is to tabletop, because I am really the progeny of every role playing game that ever really resonated for me. And it's weird because I like a lot of a full spectrum of games.
Mm-hmm.
But the ones I always go back to are those role playing games. So whether it's a Fallout or a Skyrim or a Dragon Age or a Mass Effect or
Hey,
take your
Justin.
Ogre Battle 64, the Shadowrun Returns trilogy,
Yeah.
uh, Horizon Zero Dawn, also a tremendous game, and no coincidence
Yes.
that John Gonzalez was the narrative lead on that, and he was the narrative lead on New Vegas. So
Mm-hmm.
and Pillars of Eternity and blah 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 is another one that's a huge influence on me. So it's just role playing games in general, and often ones that blend like sort of the political arena with a fantastical quality. Like Mass Effect, you don't think about in that
No, you
respect,
don't.
right?
Mm-hmm.
But it does have that sort of political machination thing going on, as well as these really weird. I think as far as video games go, it has the greatest weird alien like strata of any
Mm-hmm.
game because Turians, Krogan, Asari, Elcor, Volus, Hanar, like these are weird things. These are not just like paint a,
Just
a
a.
lady blue like some of the Star Trek
Mm-hmm.
aliens. So that's kind of the magic of video games because they're not actors playing it.
Oh,
So
absolutely.
that yeah, everything kind of goes back to Ogre Battle 64 back in the year of our Lord 2000. Though
Woo!
kind of
It's okay.
crazy to think about.
It's wonderful to be able to talk with people that, even though you are a little bit younger than me, not by much, but you are in my age range. Like I understand exactly where you're coming from. It's like trying to chat with Pop Pop. He talks about some things, and you're like, I wasn't born then,
Yeah,
so I don't understand Pop Pop. I'm just a wee bit younger than you. Um, so on on that same point, I had a really good opportunity to read Wraith Wizard Ascendant, and has has whoever is in here in the chat that hasn't had the chance, read this. This book is absolutely incredible. It's absolutely amazing. Um, and I have to say, I absolutely love your AI companion. Like, she drives me crazy at times.
Oh, does she? Okay.
Yes, but I absolutely love her. There's something very unique about her, and they're dynamic together. Like she kind of doesn't take any of his bull crap, and she doesn't like to be called the boss.
No, she doesn't.
No, she doesn't. And I get that. To her, she's only a part of the actual AI. Um,
That's right.
and so that that has some effects on their relationship, as at least in the sense of friends. Plus, I mean, when you can honestly say that AI is about ready to melt your brain, it's frightening for a character.
Yeah. It was a fun kind of thing to explore because I've talked about this before, like when with the pop up interview and other places.
Mm-hmm.
I read 20 lit RPG books when doing genre research to see if this was viable because
Mm-hmm.
I had a misapprehension, total misunderstanding of what lit RPG was way back when.
Yeah.
Years ago, I had heard about this thing lit RPG, and for some reason, the ones that always popped into my feed were harem.
Oh.
And I have no disrespect for harem or the people who
Yeah.
write it. I have many who are my friends, and people read what they want to read, and people have to provide that to them in order
Absolutely.
for the people who want to read it to read it. Like there's
Mm-hmm.
nothing wrong with that. But I didn't want to write that, and
Mm-hmm.
I had a supposition for some reason that lit RPG always included like harem. I have no idea why. And then DCC blew up, and when DCC blew up, that's Dungeon Crawler Carl for everyone out there who
Yes.
doesn't know, because you're
Who
listening to a
doesn't
lit RPG
know?
talker, yeah, lit RPG author talk about it, and you don't know what that is, right? So I read that, and I read Primal Hunter and He
Mm-hmm.
Who Fights with Monsters, Defiance of the Fall, Shade Slinger. I read a whole bunch of stuff, one
Yes.
after another, Cradle, but just like the first entry of
Yeah.
each one.
Yeah, like you're slowly working your way in. Like I know the originals that have built lit RPG, and I'm right there with you, Justin. Like I've been there with it.
And I really wanted my system character to be a person, and I
Mm-hmm.
wanted to explore like the personhood of that character throughout the thing, which you find out people have done that.
Yes.
I don't know if anyone has done it exactly the way I did, but you
No.
would know better than me because, again, I read 20 of them.
Yeah. I mean, there's very few that have done it as uniquely as you did. Um, there are a lot of AI companions, and they're extremely good in their own ways, but I really enjoyed Rune. She was very backtalky in the right way. Like she doesn't overcome him, and he doesn't overcome her. Like it's very much this feeling of they're a team, and they work very well together. So
I'm
on
glad,
that,
yeah,
go ahead. Go ahead.
I'm glad you said that because, and throughout the book, we explore what Rune is.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I'm going to guess you haven't finished it yet,
Not
which is
fully.
not a bad thing.
Not
What's that?
fully. Not
Okay.
fully, but I'm almost there.
Okay, so it takes twists and turns, and things change, and
Mm-hmm.
perception changes, and I won't spoil that
Yes.
for anyone here. And just as a side note, uh, I can say the platform name, right? Because I know you
Yes,
put
you
this up
can.
on other platforms, but there's no prescription against saying okay, so
Yes, you can.
here on TikTok where we're on originally. So if you didn't catch it on TikTok, you're nobody, pal. No, thank you wherever you watch this. You are my precious child, and I love you. Uh, but um, Oh my God, I've totally lost my train of thought, Wilkie.
Oh, you were talking about how things update, like
Right,
how
right, right. Okay.
how she
Sorry.
grows, as and things change closer to the end, and
Right.
that's okay.
So yeah, the entire like the emotional kind of throughput is kind of twofold. It's exploring what Rune is and who they are, and also
Mm-hmm.
exploring the relationship between the male main character, Tyson Hale,
Yes.
and Rune, the neural implant that is powering him, and powering the Wraith system inside of him.
Mm-hmm.
What the actual explanation of that is part of it, but also the other part of it is does how does it change the nature of Tyson inherently? Um, what are the ethical ramifications of having this power? Because this is not an overpowered story. This is a
No, it's
fantasy
not.
isekai lit RPG.
Mm-hmm.
And like I've talked about the role playing games earlier, being my real like north star for a lot of stuff. Companions are kind of the big thing here. So companion characters on the Grinning Ghost, which is a pirate ship. You've got
Mm-hmm.
Cassandra the captain. You've got Penny the first mate. Rathal the big dumb brute second mate, which is a character I always seem to write. Just the loud boisterous idiot who just destroys things. And that's an id character, and that's kind of my id. You know, I'm the guy who sometimes sits down on a chair and breaks it. We've all met that guy. I'm kind of him at times.
Just a little bit.
Yeah. I played football my whole life, hated every minute of it, but I played it and I
Mm,
was good at it. I'm a big
gotcha.
lug. Uh, so there's a part of me in that, but more than anything, yeah, the emotional resonance really, hopefully, comes from Tyson and Rune and exploring whatever in the world Rune is, because appearances can be different
Yes.
than reality.
Oh, absolutely.
But Kitty in the chat has just finished the book today, yesterday actually, late
Ooh,
yesterday, and
yay.
was very kind enough to message me and rave about it, and that really made me feel good. And is jumping into Wraith Wizard Commander, which is my
Mm-hmm.
second book, which is out, also in KU. We're jumping into that one next. So thank you, Kitty, and thank you everyone else who has done that. But
Mm-hmm.
it's very validating here on TikTok. That was my whole point. Was TikTok? Goodness gracious! I have been in the trenches trying to get this book, this series noticed,
Oh,
get it
absolutely.
read, get people into it,
Mm-hmm.
and I had success. I had pretty decent success, but it was very hard fought. And then here on TikTok, I post something, and then I have like 50 people saying, give me your book. I want to read it. Um, which some of them I'm sending paperbacks out to, because like originally it was like, hey, I need some book talkers, I need some people with followings to read my book and post about it and everything. And then it turns out I
Mm-hmm.
met people. I met
Yes.
actual people, and now I'm
Mm-hmm.
friends with a whole bunch of people and messaging with them regularly in the DMs here or elsewhere. So that's been surreal, because TikTok has a reputation of being a very plastic place and like everybody's performing and everything, but
Yes.
that has not been what I have experienced personally. I
Oh,
can just say that one.
absolutely. Yeah. So, on that same point, because obviously you've started your writing in lit RPG, and that's a very good spot to start. Because, mind you, this is this is not my genre, but this is the genre that I love deeply, and probably more than most others. Um, who who do you feel inspired you when it came to your book? Because you said that you've read a few,
Mhm.
and I would assume that there was a little bit of inspiration coming in from the books that you read.
Before I answer that, let me ask you, because you mentioned that you were writing a book. For some reason, I interpreted what you were telling me the other day when I was doing a live. I thought you were saying that it did have a lit RPG, or at least progression
It
aspect, but it's sounding
it
like it
does.
doesn't.
It
Oh, it
does.
does. I thought you said that. Yeah,
Yeah, it
but you
does.
said this isn't your genre.
This this is not the genre that I started in.
Okay, okay.
I I originally, my first book that I ever wrote was an epic fantasy, and it was wonderful. It was beautiful. That book has not seen the light of day. Not because it isn't going to. It's just I wrote that book because I needed to get that one out of my head. That one
Mhm.
I had had in my mind since I was about 12. And I wrote it, I got it onto paper. The first draft was absolute crap, mind
How it
you.
goes.
Yes, mind you, I was a brand new author and I did not realize that your first draft is kind of supposed to be absolute crap. Um, but I sent it into an editor, and the publisher sent it back with half of my a book crossed out, saying this is absolute and total crap.
If they
I-
did they actually say that?
let's put it this way: the editor was not a fan of how I put my characters through. Um, they loved my characters. They loved of the story that came with it, but I didn't really take them much farther than about. I think my book took them through maybe 2 weeks at most, and they were hoping that it would take them through like 6 or 8 months, kind of thing, with as long as it was, because it was when I actually took a look at it, and mind you, I'm gonna I'm gonna get back to Justin because this is important. But I had written a book that was about 400 pages, and they were like, 200 of it is backstory.
Oh, okay. Okay.
You,
Okay. That's fine.
you really need to move it forward.
Okay.
And they were right. Like, I was still a brand new author. I didn't know what I was doing. Well, I got it back, realized I'm no author. I'm no good at it, and I shoved it in a drawer until I was about 25. Um, and then when I was 25, I reopened the drawer, looked at it, read all the uh, read all the information that they had said, and really looked at it and was like, okay, yeah, they're right. Yeah, they're right. Yeah, they're right.
Okay.
So
If
I
that's the
went,
case, then that's good. Yeah. It
yes,
sounded like a power tripping editor, but if okay. So
but
that
but he was right. Like,
yeah.
he was very good about the things that he wrote, and I was very appreciative of it. Now, I, however, do not go back to him because I don't like him. Um,
Mhm.
but when I rewrote it, um, moving it along, mind you, we didn't go 6 months into the future, but
Mhm.
I do have another book that is connected to it that is the whole prequel, and that's going to end up coming out, but that's another story. But I sent it to another editor, um, and they sent it back with it red had red pen and going through it and saying, okay, this is a really good story. We really like it. Um, you have some things you need to fix. That's just a fact. And this editor, I won't say was kind, but they were like, don't stress it. This was your first draft. Your first draft is meant to be pretty crappy. And so I fixed it and I sent it back and finally got to the point that I was like, okay, everything looks good. Everything makes sense. So when can we publish? And I was like, not. And it wasn't because of them. They were wonderful. They were excellent. They were great. Um, but at that point, I had done it. I had actually gotten my book onto paper and I had actually gotten everything out that I needed to. And it was like, okay, I don't need your validation. I don't need you to publish my book. If I ever publish it, it will be my book and I will publish it. I will self publish it. You do not get any part of this. Um, I will, however, give in the forward credit to my first editor for making me realize that first drafts are crap.
Do you want to name them here, or do you want to wait till you release?
No, no, like I said,
Okay.
this book will probably be one that I do after I actually release the books that I'm currently working on. But those ones, whole different story. Going back to you,
Wait, wait,
because
wait,
you,
wait. Do you know Travis Dean?
I do.
Okay. Well, I was just going to suggest him as an editor should you be in need of one.
Yes,
Because he's
yes,
doing
I
it. Yeah,
actually,
you told me he's doing Andrews. Yeah, no, no. Yeah, I know. Okay. I knew that.
yes, I do actually have an editor. A friend of mine, and pulled me aside, when I decided to start writing again, and was like, I would love to I would love to edit. And they're my developmental editor, and I think the world of them. They are not kind, but they
Oh,
are, what I mean is they're very good at their job.
well, that's good.
Yes, like they do it in such a way, that they tell me, okay, this doesn't make sense. Fix
Okay.
this.
Yeah.
And that's something I need. And so, oh, I do. And I'm very appreciative of him for that. Like, he's one that he and I worked together for probably the last year, about the same time him that Lit RPG Con had happened last year. I found him and started writing and went from there. But
And KL Robel says, as long as it's constructive, it's great. Doesn't take away the
mhm,
sting, though. And I'm just very briefly going to soapbox about my opinion on editors. There are a lot
oh,
of
absolutely.
editors who like to feel important and try to cut people down and
Hmm.
say, because they're prescriptivists, some of them.
Yes, absolutely.
There's only one way to do it, and this is the way to do it. And if an editor had gotten their hand, who worked that way, got their hands on Matt Dinniman, we
Hmm.
would not have been exploding in popularity in the lit RPG genre because best practices say just about everything he did in the first chapter is wrong. Really, everything he did in the book is wrong, practically. They would have taken a red pen
Yes,
to that.
up to
So
a point.
remember that your voice is your voice, and whatever
Yes,
you have to add is important because the most popular author on planet Earth right now is Matt Dinniman. That doesn't
yes,
mean that editors aren't worth a whole lot, but I think it is also valuable if you can to find
hmm,
an editor who can write.
yes,
Um, that's why I have a lot of respect for Travis Dean, who is an author and an editor. He's one of those weird hybrid chimeras. I edit my own stuff
yeah,
because I have a background, in both, and
yeah,
and that's fine. But and it's not to say that oh, they need to be nice or whatever. But if your criticism doesn't come with justification and
hmm,
it's instead just this is how you have to do it, then you're not an editor. That's
no,
just how I feel about it, and I
no,
have
you are
very strong
absolutely right.
opinions about that.
And with mine, like, he he has written about 3 books himself, and he
There
has
you
his
go.
own editor that he has not issues with. They work very well together, but he he had struggles. His first book, almost all of us do,
Mhm.
and his did not baby him, but he was very constructive and gave him the right amount of criticism to be like, okay, I didn't like this, but that doesn't mean that it's not good.
Mhm.
So your choice.
Right.
And and with mine, he does the same thing. Like, he says, this doesn't make sense. It's not that I don't like what
Mhm.
you're writing. It just doesn't make sense. You need to connect some plot holes. If you can do that, then we're doing great. Like, I have no other things to say that I believe are going wrong. Like, you're doing great at your writing. There's just plot holes, and I want you to fill those plot holes. Like, okay, I can do
Right.
that.
No, that's the role of a good editor, among other
Mm-hmm.
things. Whether it's dev edit or proofing or whatever, anywhere from
Mm-hmm.
beginning to end, snout to tail. Right.
Absolutely.
The goal is to try to elevate your writing in a way and to help you do a better job with it.
Absolutely.
But there, and there's a balance there too, because well, I would say that there is, but like for you and me, because we're self-pubbed,
Hmm.
yes, we have Final Cut. Like,
Yes.
but if you're with a publishing house, then there might be a thing where they mandate certain things,
Yes.
and you really, well, but you might argue, but I needed that scene, even though it slows it down because for this plot
Hmm.
beat or that plot beat, and you know that you need it, but they don't want it. And I don't, thankfully, right now, I don't deal with that push and pull.
Hmm.
So if I ever do, I'm sure I will be very frustrated, which is just natural, right?
Yep. Well, the lucky part for me is the book series that I'm writing. I would like to have it be that it is traditionally published,
Mhm.
but I love it exactly how I have it. I love what I've written. I love what that I've done. So if they don't like it, who cares? I will self-publish
Yeah.
it myself and it will be what I want it to be. I just would prefer to have it done traditionally because then they can put in the money to publish it and I don't have to.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
that's okay.
The big thing, right, is like the audiobook.
Hmm.
If your publisher does that,
Yes.
um, the cover, can mine cost more than most because I pay,
Yes.
they're really good.
Yes.
But I have to pay for them to be really good. Like I found a guy who he's got the whole setup with the
Hmm.
big, the art station and all his
Yep.
stuff up there, and oh, it's gorgeous. So I got the nice covers, but I gotta sell a lot of books to make up just for that.
Yeah.
And thankfully they have, but I'm not exactly living the high life just based on my
That's
authoring.
that's something that's almost not impossible, but we know that most authors maybe, and mind you, I know this. Like, I had one of my best friends who, when him and I went through high school, he was a genius. Absolutely amazing guy. And he has um, ended up creating nearly 20 businesses in his life.
Mm.
Of those 20 businesses, three have succeeded.
Hey, hey, pretty good hit rate.
But he learned that from his mentor that for every single business that you open, like generally the way it works is if you have 30 businesses in your life, one will be absolutely successful. One will be amazing and will do great things.
Sorry.
You're okay. Um, and lucky for him, he's had a lot of good people that have been in there with him that have um, helped him along. And because he was like you or me, like didn't have any knowledge of the businesses that he was doing. He just took it one step at a time. And it's the same way with most self-published authors. We're just taking it one step at a time, hoping we know what we're doing with advice from friends. Thank heavens for good friends in Lit RPG because
Yeah.
I think we'd be really stuck. But on that same point, hey Justin, who inspired you? Like who is the one that helped you get Wraith Wizard Ascendant to where you wanted it to be?
Chris Avallone and David Gator and other video game writers.
That's okay.
No, no, I mean, not to be like, I'm not being glib here. Like,
No.
my dads are all the great, video game writers,
Mm-hmm.
where I would like obsessively go through and like chart out the dialogue and like look at the dialogue trees if there was a tool set and stuff like that that a weird kid would do. I was the captain of my high school football team, and the thing that I was most obsessed with was just playing RPGs. I didn't want to do that football crap. I wanted to play video games, and I wanted to learn how they were made, and I wanted to write them.
Mm-hmm.
But don't get me wrong. I've enjoyed a lot of books like the Ripple System, Shadeslinger.
Yes, absolutely.
Was too crunchy for me. That's a very crunchy
Yes,
book, but it
it is.
but it showed me. Sorry, go ahead.
No, you're fine. Go ahead.
Do you enjoy? Did you read that one, Wilkie?
I did. The Ripple System was one that I really enjoyed, and I am not one that does crunchy all that well. This one was not overly crunchy. I could get through it, but there are times that I'm like, I have to set it aside to go for a little bit more of a creamy book, and then
Mm,
I'll come back to it.
scream time, right?
Hmm.
But I read that one just to see because someone suggested it as a more crunchy lit
Hmm.
RPG, and I was worried that my book wasn't crunchy enough because I basically wanted to hit the most median
Yes.
of crunch. I wanted it to be one side of the bread was crunchy, one side was creamy,
Hmm.
and you slam them together. Like I wanted it to be exactly in the middle. I mean, it's the same reason like doing genre research, I realized that isekai sold better than just fantasy. So fantasy
Yes.
isekai. And then it was like, how do I make that like interesting to me as a writer? And I kind of had the idea of what if a Fallout style, character, like the
Hmm.
main character from Fallout, the courier, the lone wanderer,
Hmm.
wound up in a Skyrim like world. Um, and I thought that that was just a hook I could tell because that's the elevator pitch, right? A
Yes.
Fallout style main character winds up in a fantasy world full of demons, dragons, and quarreling gods.
Hmm.
That's fun because he brings his wasteland, his post-apocalyptic wasteland Earth survivalist skills with him to this world that really doesn't have a whole lot of use for them. There's some, but like he can't clean and grease a gun and he can't like fix a water purifier because they don't even need it fixed. They just got clean water because they haven't polluted it yet.
Yep.
So there's just like that fun fish out of water quality that we love so well.
Hmm.
But I didn't want to do, and I have no disrespect for people who do like, accountant or janitor winds up in fantasy world. I don't have a problem with that. It's just not what I
Yep.
wanted to write. I wanted to try to find my thing.
Yep. Absolutely.
And that I think that hook paid off for me because the book did pretty well. The series is doing pretty well. Third one's coming out soon. It's in
Third.
for editing, and by
Yes.
in for editing, I mean I'm editing it. Uh,
Ooh.
um, because I have unearned confidence, and I believe that I am the best person to edit my own work. But no, you get the genuine article with me where you get a lot of the brain slop that comes out of here with
Yeah.
me, because it is genuinely me doing this. I write it, I edit it, I format it. I pay the artist for the art. I find him myself. I negotiated at Lit RPG. I finalized the deal to get my audiobook done. I met with Chris Boucher,
Yay.
Actors Unlimited. And if you don't know who Chris Boucher is, it was the well dressed man in the three-piece suit with the
Oh,
handkerchief in his pocket.
I know Chris. I love Chris. He's one of my favorite narrators of all time, and I'm so glad you
No
got him.
kidding.
Yeah.
No, okay. Well, his company's doing it. It's two people who are tipping their toes into the lit RPG game who I love. Tucker and Kitty, who I think are going to do big things in the lit RPG space.
Ah,
And
okay.
I met them there. They were both there. And Tucker, I annoyed after or during karaoke because I found him outside karaoke after meeting with him the previous day and finalizing this deal. I was
Hmm.
making him like say things that Tyson, my main character, would say. So I was very much like the over eager, uh, overbearing author, just going like, no, 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 do it like this, do it like this. So he was very gracious. I think he might have had some dirty Shirleys.
I wouldn't be surprised.
So yeah, no, I mean I picked up bits and pieces from other authors, absolutely. Like the from Dungeon Crawler Carl, the thing everyone gets is you can be as irreverent as you want.
Yes.
You know, you don't have to hold back on this stuff. On Shadeslinger, with Shadeslinger, it was like, um, you can go crazy with the crunch, and it very much confirmed for me. Keep it simple, stupid, because I am stupid and I am simple, and it's best if I do that. And like He Who Fights with Monsters or Victor of Tucson, it's like you can make a just. I didn't want to, and I didn't wind up doing this. But if you want to make like an unlikable protagonist at the start and have that journey be kind of the point, you can do that. So these are informative things that tell you you can do this, and it also helps you reaffirm the way a good author does, or sorry, the way a good editor does
Hmm.
what you want to do because an editor part of their job is also to kind of be an agonist of you just a little bit where it's like you have to justify it to yourself, no, this is staying in because it needs to, This is the right call and this is why. But they make you kind of question that instead of just,
Hmm.
rubber stamping everything.
Oh, absolutely.
So reading all these different works were kind of just like, do I want to do this? Do I want to do that? And it helped solidify for me that no, I generally want to do the thing that I always want to write, which is someone trying to do better, along with a lot of humor, a lot of hijinks, and a whole lot of action. But at the very end of it, it's like 50% dialogue. I like characters talking to one another, working things out, and having them always wanting something. Every character wants something. The main
Hmm.
character doesn't always necessarily know what that is. They might find out eventually, but everyone doesn't come up to you and announce exactly what it is they want, or they're animating animus, which I wish I had a different word because animating and animus are two. But just trying to create like complicated people and hoping that the audience, identifies with them. And like Kitty in the who's in the chat here, told me she really liked Penny, and a lot of people haven't said that. A lot of people told me like Rathal, because Rathal is a 7 foot tall, demon with giant horns that are a foot extra, and he tries to gore people with them. He drinks a lot. He throws people around. He beats people with other people. Like he's the id character. He's just fun to write and he's fun to read. Penny has a lot more interiority. Rune has a lot more interiority. Even Tyson has more interiority.
Hmm.
And characters where you have to interrogate that stuff aren't as jump off the page as you necessarily. So it's fun to
Hmm.
see what people like. And it's fun to just explore all of that because I get to. The first book is huge. It's 206,000 words, and I'm never doing that again. But if you want to jump in point, Wraith Wizard Ascendant is massive and a
Yes.
lot of
Oh
fun.
my gosh.
Too big.
It it's beautifully big, but preparing for this interview was tough because it's such a big book,
It is.
and I love a good thick book, but this was a good thick book. Um so Pop Pop has a question that he usually asks.
Are you going to ask
And
me about Pop Tarts?
no, I am not going to ask about Pop Tarts. That is not my a question.
Okay,
Um,
so the sandwich question then. Okay, go
no,
ahead.
no, no,
Okay,
no.
okay, okay.
See, I am a little bit different. So when it comes to your characters, what do you enjoy writing more? Are you more do you love writing the more comedic character, or do you like writing the character that's a little bit more serious?
Man, that's hard because it's like a peanut butter sandwich isn't very good and a jelly sandwich isn't very good. But peanut butter and jelly sandwich is like the best one there is.
Yes, absolutely.
So yeah, that's a really hard choice because I don't know. For me, I it's easier to write the one note comedic characters, obviously,
Hmm.
because they're one note and they're comedic characters. The comic relief is just it doesn't take it's not that hard to write, I feel like. He smashes things, he yells, he charges when he shouldn't, right? He tries to gore people with his horns, he rips someone in half with his bare hand.
Absolutely.
It's a fun character to write, that's a fun character to read.
Hmm.
It's more challenging to write the other type of character. And
Absolutely.
it's very hard to write a character who can kind of blend both in certain degrees, like a 60-40 or 40-60 type character. That's hard. And I don't know if I have any of those in this book. Um, can't think of any. I don't think I do in this book.
It's okay.
But yeah, overall, I don't know that there is a preference there. I think that there is a balance in all things. And if you're able to really land the plane where you have all those ingredients, then you get to have a really good peanut butter and jelly sandwich.
Okay.
Kitty notes
So,
after chapter 42, I couldn't put it down. Let me just tell you this Wraith Wizard Ascendant, chapter 42 is the best thing I've ever written in my life, and I highly doubt I will ever hit that mark again. Even Pop Pop messaged me about that one when he read that. And he said, "Oh my God." And I said, "What?" And he sent me a screenshot of chapter 42. And I don't know why it was 42. I've never read Hitchhiker's Guide. I was 42 when I played football, though. I was that number. So maybe that's why. I don't know.
Who knows?
But thank you, Kitty, and thank you, Pop Pop. I don't know why it was chapter 42, but that's the midpoint climax that reframed some things, and people have responded to that one as the really good chapter Justin did. And I don't know, maybe I peaked early at 38. Who
I
knows?
don't think so.
No?
I
Oh,
don't think so. Like, I am very much looking forward to book two, very much looking forward to what comes next. Because, as I've said, I mean, I can't say this is my genre because I am not an author in it as of yet. That's okay. I've,
disagree. You are writing, so you are one.
I am writing,
Just
but
my
I am not
pedantic opinion.
necessarily in this genre yet, and that's okay. Like, but I've read so many books in this genre. I love this genre with all of my fiber, or with all of my being. Um, Obviously, you found this genre when you were young. Like, you may not have been able to find lit RPG, but you did find RPG. Like, in
I
games,
found
and
the last three letters. Yeah.
yep, and that's okay. Like, this genre has become, and correct me if I'm wrong, but this is exactly what most authors are dreaming to become. Like, it used to be that fantasy was that was the dream, was to be able to write epic fantasy, to be able to write as good as and mind you, I know I will never be able to write as good as J.R.R. Tolkien, or as good as, oh gosh, George R.R. Martin. Like, there is
Mm,
absolutely no way. But we've seen how lit RPG has changed the, not the genre, but books. Like,
yes.
how how do you feel, well, your book has influenced the genre yourself? Because, I mean, it's a very unique book. It's a little bit different than most others, and that's not a bad thing. But
No.
do you feel you've inspired heard other authors that would follow in your footsteps?
Yeah, because I think that my book is the most popular book in all of lit RPG. No. You know what's interesting is that I feel like my footprint, because I'm a self-published author, I'm a little guy.
Hmm.
My first book punched well above its weight. My second book did too. Like I'm very lucky for that, and I'm very fortunate for that. And I don't know how a lot of people found it because I've been screaming for attention on every platform possible, and I don't get a lot of it. And then people pick up my book and then they don't tell me about it. So I don't know how that worked out, but I'm grateful for it, and that's why I'm glad I'm here on TikTok
Hmm.
because I have connected with about 100 people who want my book, and many of whom are reading it right now. Like
Hmm.
Kitty in the chat, she didn't have to be here.
It's
She didn't
true.
know me a week ago. She enjoyed my book, so she is here, and we message and DM and all that stuff. Same with a lot of different people. I met Sky recently. She's not reading my book currently,
Oh,
but
Banjo, we
she's
love
trying to
you
get
too
into voice
much.
acting. And what's that?
Oh, Banjo, we love you too much. He's saying, could it
Yeah,
be
it's all
good
it's all
Banjo?
thanks to Banjo.
Yeah, it's all thanks to Banjo.
You know, um, and Banjo. So here's what I'll say. I feel like my footprint is not in my book inspiring people. I think literally it's in one-to-one communication with people and telling them, I'll help you because I've done the self-publishing thing. So there is currently a friend of mine who I met on a different platform who is writing a book partially because I helped them out and I gave them a couple resources and I agreed to read and critique some of their stuff early on. And when I say a friend, I mean actually a couple. Um, and I'm not using couple in literal like in the first definition
Yeah,
sense of two. I mean like a few.
yeah, a
So
few.
perhaps the better word would be a few. I've always been a couple user, which can couple mean two through eight, like whatever. I gave me a couple
Yeah,
M and M's. I want eight of
just a
them,
couple. Like,
you
yeah.
know. But I think that my is just in creating human contact and forging like a relationship with people and being like, I know it's scary. I've done the self publishing thing. I will help you or I will aid you in editing your book for no money. Not that I will do a full dev edit. I
Yeah,
can't,
of course.
but I will give some feedback. I will help out because the one thing that I always say about lit RPG is we need more unique voices in it because eventually the genre is going to drill down to trope maps.
Hmm.
And when that happens, that's not good.
No.
Um, like there's a lot of good stuff in every genre, but they all kind of inevitably drill down trope map. And what I mean by that is if you've ever seen Romantasy, which is huge, if you've ever heard of Akatar, I'm sure you have, or other books,
Yep.
a lot of other books are chasing the dragon there. They're chasing Akatar. And
Hmm.
so they put out a thing and they put every trope on the map. They say, it's got an alpha main character. It has dragons that you ride or whatever because Fourth Wing's popular. Um, uh, the Ice Kingdom, the Fire Kingdom, the
Yeah.
Water King, the
Yeah,
things
absolutely.
that other books have done.
Hmm.
And then it becomes a genre expectation. And when it hits that, and it will come for lit RPG eventually,
Eventually.
when it hits, and it worries me, but if it does hit that, then that's not great.
No.
And I hope that this weird and unique thing that is lit RPG remains so special and rare and weird forever because there's nothing like it. And here's one thing, Wilkie. I have talked about this ad nauseum. A hit lit RPG is about a vending machine.
Hmm.
There's a hit RPG about a crab that is a merchant. The name
Yep.
of it is Merchant Crab.
Merchant crab. Hmm.
There are apocalypse books. There are isekai fantasy books. Wraith Wizard Ascendant. Go pick it up in KU.
Hmm.
Dungeon Core. I read one and I still don't quite get it, but people love it, and I think that's great. There's nothing wrong with it. And then
Yep.
harem. There's cozy. Cozy lit RPG is happening.
Yes.
Progression and cultivation and all this stuff. These subgenres are fun and plentiful. But the thing that defines all of them right now is they are not rigid.
Hmm.
Find your own little niche and explore it all the way. Put the pedal to the metal because
It's true.
people will accept weird. What other genre has heretical fishing
Oh
or
my
beware of
gosh.
chicken?
I know.
You know,
And
like,
the one thing that I love about lit RPG is even if we have people that are not fans of certain aspects of lit RPG, we don't tear each other down.
yes.
Mind you, there is one part of it that does, and I don't like that. It's the one, and it's the one group that I'm very sad to see. Hey, Nicholas, to see
Okay.
any negative aspects it's coming from because that's not what I love about Outlet RPG. I love that we're wacky and crazy and we're off the wall, but at the same time, I would, and mind you, I'm a little bit strange. My friends would absolutely call me nuts, but I would go to bat for every single one of the authors that I love. I would go to bat for every single one of the audiobook narrators that I love. I would go to bat for every single one of the fans that had, that are my friends. Like you you dare come against my friends, I can't say it here on TikTok, but I will come after you and I will destroy you because that's the type of person that I am for this genre. I love it. And it gave me a home, it gave me a place where I felt wanted, a place that I've never had before. And I come to it every single day because of that reason, because of how much I love that there is negative. We see it. I mean, how many how many 1-star reviews are there out in the world for lit RPG? Far too many.
Mhm.
Um, but at the same time, when it comes to those that love this genre, we're not here to tear each other down. We're not here to harm one another. I don't know how many times I've seen authors come and be like, "You're okay. Like your book might not have sold great, but that doesn't mean that you don't have another good book in you." Like they build each other up, and they're so good about that. And
Agreed.
on that same point, um, you obviously are a very unique author, and I love that about you. I love that about your books. Is there another author in the lit RPG genre that you would love to have write in your universe, or that you would like to write in their universe?
Wait, did we answer the pop-up question? You were gonna ask me a pop-up question. Did you ask me the pop-up question
I
already?
did. I
Okay,
did,
okay. That was
but but my but my question is my version of the pop question.
okay. Got it. Writing in my world?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's one. He's in this live.
Okay.
It's Banjo Walrus.
Okay.
Banjo Walrus um, has the most singular voice of any author, and I offered to edit Wolfgang Howl, The Adventures of Wolfgang Howl, because while it is there's a certain intentionality to it where it's like supposed to disorient you by being like blocks of text, it is hard to read.
Mm-hmm.
But should you read through it, it is the most singularly. It's basically Finnegan's Wake, but of lit RPG in how disorienting it is. He basically made the most unhinged. Oh, he used the same word as me. Okay.
He did.
He wrote a story about a werewolf submarine captain who does not believe in the moon. And that is the premise. And yet the story is much stranger than that. They sing a sea shanty early on that made me uncomfortable in how horrifying it was. And that was clearly by design. Like,
Mm-hmm.
this thing is uniquely bizarre. Banjo Walrus, which is David Knapp on Zon, on in KU, all of the stuff's in KU. He's got 39 books there.
Mm-hmm.
And he's got like half of them are audiobooks as well. So if you're looking for something, but I mean, when I say like a singular like mind, I mean like I tried to emulate his writing style to riff on Wolfgang Howe. I was like, I'm going to write the son of Wolfgang Howe. What I wrote was funny, but what I wrote just could not compare to the sheer strangeness of it. I shared it with him. So there's an author that is not as acclaimed as he should be. A very like I don't know how to put it, man. Like it is hard. It's he is the only person I can't define. That's what makes it so special. And it's not like
Yep.
outsider art like type stuff. It's like there is a clear intentionality here that is kind of startling. That I cannot emulate. I can emulate a lot of writers just by studying their style. I think we all kind of can do that. That's why I don't read a
Mm-hmm.
lot of people when I'm writing because I subconsciously do it. But I intentionally read his stuff and then tried to riff on it. And I wrote 2 chapters of it, which cracked him up. He loved it, but it just wasn't his voice. I cannot distill that voice. That voice is like pure strain something. Maybe it's just id. I don't know.
Who knows? So this has been a really good chat, and we're not done yet. But I want to give those um that are in the comments, if you have questions you want to ask and you would
For
like
me.
to do it on screen, put in your request to join us. We would love to have you come up here or in chat and talk with Justin Whitaker. And if you haven't had the pleasure of getting to know Justin, you're really missing out. This man
True.
is a genius. He's amazing. and he is pretty humble. Um,
Nah. Hey, Sergeant Dad Nerd Dude. Hey,
but I'm so grateful for everyone that's joined. I'm so grateful for the chance. So, on on that same point, um, so we've talked about somebody that you would like to see right in your universe.
I'm worried about it too, but I would like to see it.
Is there another author that you would like to write in their universe if you had the chance?
Weirdly, no. No. The, the I hope this doesn't sound self-centered because
No,
or like self-aggrandizing,
no, of course
but
not.
I want writing lets me visit places and lets me live lives that aren't my own. And I'm very much a pantser. I now do a skeleton structure, but I didn't even do that for the first book until ex post facto. I went back and charted it out. I don't do three act. I do like my own Frankenstein's monster of three act with promise, progress, and payoff, along with a couple other considerations. But I at least hit the midpoint climax. I do two pinch posts. Pinch posts. I'm thinking basketballs on the mind. Pinch points. Sorry. Um, but structure to me is should be kept fluid. Um, I mean, I could go on and on and on. So I wanted to do a panel on structure at Lit RPG Con, and when I put in my thing for being a panelist, I wrote a lot about like I would really love to do, and I didn't get to. I don't think we did one,
Mm,
which is fine. Which is fine. I'm not like legitimately because that would be how do you distill that into an hour? I don't know
it's true. It's true.
with five other people. But no, I like writing my own universes and writing my own characters because then I get to experience that. And the thing I always say is I want to know what happens next too. Um, and I wrote book three. Book three is done, and I'm editing it. And I know what the title of book four is, and then I don't know anything else. Like I know kind of the idea of what's going to happen, and I know what characters you're going to meet, but I don't know how they get there, and I don't know what twists and turns they're going to get. And I'll be completely straight up, like some of the stuff in book one. Kitty was messaging me earlier, who's in, like, again in the chat, and asked me a couple questions just about it because she really liked the first book. And the one thing that I told her was there was a certain character whose relationship to another character wasn't. I didn't actually figure that one out until the final editing pass, which I was supposed that was supposed to be content locked. It was supposed to be a proofing pass,
Hmm.
but it came to me in that moment, and then I went back. It really derailed things a little bit because I had to spend multiple days making sure it all matched up, but it made the character stronger. Now it's a little bit more regimented now, but I've written a whole bunch of stuff that hasn't seen the light of day, other than this, fantasy isekai, this epic fantasy isekai lit RPG known as Wraith Wizard Ascendant, Wraith Wizard Commander, which is the second one. But I wrote a whole bunch of stuff, and I've got to experience those worlds even if no one else does. Like I wrote a
Hmm.
cozy, I wrote a cyberpunk, I wrote a cyberpunk western. I really like the cyberpunk western, but I think seven people might pick that one up if I ever wrote it. So when I get more
You'd be
established,
surprised. Like,
cyberpunk, yes. Western, yes. Cyberpunk Western,
don't don't say that because Harmon Cooper is writing a cyberpunk western.
then I hope he hits it big and creates it.
Yes.
But here's the thing: I'm writing this one for at least 3 more years. This is my
That
baby. This
was
is the.
that was my next question was how
Oh,
many
okay.
books do you think you'll will have in this series?
I currently have it charted to where I think, because again, I'm a pantser, but I know where
Hmm.
it ends. I think I know where it ends.
Okay.
I might know where it ends. But I originally had it figured that I could do about 24 of these.
Wow,
Uh,
that's
and
great.
that's a long series, so
That's a
that might
long
not happen.
series.
But the first act, I know how many it's going to be. The first arc, the first saga. Let's call it a saga because I was a
Hmm.
Dragon Ball fan, right? Back in the day, the Saiyan saga, the Cell saga. So the first saga, I do know how long it's going to take. The second saga, I have an idea of
Okay.
how long it's going to take. The third saga, I think I know, but we won't really know until we get through the second saga, which undoubtedly will be either longer or shorter than I intend. And then the
Ooh.
third one will go somewhere else I don't intend. So your best laid plans, right, Wilkie? Lie
Yes.
forgotten.
Oh goodness. Like I told you this about my book. Like I had a plan that it was only going to be six books. Like that was it
Mhm.
because it was for anybody that haven't hasn't heard about my book, and I'm just going to do a small plug, like nothing.
Before you do,
And
1 second. Do you think this plug will take approximately 45 seconds?
probably
Because I could use the bathroom very quick.
you are very welcome to use the restroom. Okay, so my current series that I'm writing is about the mythical characters that we all grew up knowing about. Um, it is the characters. There's like Santa, Sandman, Tooth Fairy, all these characters. But from a lit RPG perspective, because the one thing that I've always wondered, Justin, that's funny. Um, the one thing that I've always he's wondered is how these characters came into being. What was their origin story, and what helped them to become these mythical characters that we all know about and love. Um, and it is one of those series that I don't think has been written yet. I don't think that we've seen in that kind of story yet, and that's what intrigued me. That was what had me so interested in wanting to write this series. And as I went along, like I said, I only had a plan to write six because I had my um I had my main five that I was going to stick with, and then I realized there are others, and there's still another one that I'm like, do I write that one or do I do that one as a postquel? Um, because we know about Cupid, but we don't know much about his his origin story. And I'm like, I don't know if I want to put him into this series. Like, and so I went back and forth from six to seven. Now it's eight because there are two other characters that I'm like, I need these two characters in the story because they're going to give depth and they're going to give intrigue to the rest of the story. And so you never know what you're going to get. Like, you could start with a book series and know it's only going to be three. It's only going to be three. That's at least that's what Ryan Maxwell told me. Like, it's only going to be three. But I know that he has four, five, and six of Grand System Ending already planned.
How about that?
Yeah. So
Curious how that always seems to happen.
yeah. So I'm like, huh. But you never know what you're going to get. So, for anybody that wants to know, do you have any questions for Justin? Because this is an opportunity for you to ask if you've already started on book two. Do you want to know something from him
It's a
that
shame that Tyson got in the first one, and I have a new protagonist for the second book. It's a shame. That
it's
always
just a
happens in lit RPGs,
shame.
right? Oh, otherwise, I'm just going to bloviate about some stuff.
Yep.
Hello, KJ.
Hey
You're very
KJ.
talented. I'd like to be as talented a writer as you are a voice actor.
Oh gosh, I know. It's
Some
amazing to
people
me.
just got it.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. I have to say, like, I absolutely do love Steve Campbell's origin story, how it came about for him. Um, do you know about what happened for him?
I don't know.
Okay. So Steve, I believe, was an IT professional and he was mostly good at it. He didn't really enjoy it. Um, but he loved doing voices. He would do them for his friends and whatever else. And I believe one time his friend was like, you're so good at these things. You should totally he narrate 8 books. And he's like, no, 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 that's not something and I could do. And they're like, yes, actually you could. Like, we would love to see you do it. And Steve is the type of man that when he does something, he goes full force. He can't do it a little bit at a time. He has to go full force and go all the way in. So he went to his wife and he didn't say that he was going to do this. He did um, a recording of a friend's book, not the whole book, but at least a couple chapters. And then he went to his wife and was like, "Hey, would you listen to this?" And so she listened. Oh, that's a very good question, KJ, and we'll definitely get to that. And so she listened to it and she's like, "This is really good," and didn't realize that it was Steve. And he's like, "Yeah, um,
No kidding.
yep." And so he's like, "That that's me." And she's like, and mind you, she doesn't like audiobooks. Like, it's not her
Oh,
jam. But he asked her because she's he's his wife and he wanted her opinion. And he's like, "Do you think I could do this?" And she's like, "I think you could. I think you really could." And he said to her, "Here's the thing. You know me. You know when I do something I go full force. I'm not going to set it aside. So if I do this, are we going to be able to afford to continue living with me trying to become an audiobook narrator?" And she's like, "You focus on making yourself big. I will focus on making sure that we stay afloat. You do
that's a
this."
healthy marriage.
It was very healthy. All right. So KJ asked,
Uh,
How do you unblock when you hit a wall writing?"
I'm a linear writer, as many of us in lit RPG. I have found talking to people, most are, and by that I mean I generally write beginning to end. I don't
Mm-hmm.
hop around. Um, I also spin plates. I have severe ADHD, so I'm always spinning plates. Like I have all the plot beats in my head, even if I write them down, I generally can recall them even later, just because for whatever reason that's in my RAM.
Mm-hmm.
Don't know why. So the honest answer to this, and it's going to sound like I'm self-aggrandizing, and I apologize, but I have never had writer's block. It'll happen eventually, I'm sure, especially as the lore gets more and more complex, and then I won't know what to do. As of right now, and into the future, knock on wood, I sure hope that I never get it because I don't want it. It doesn't sound fun.
It isn't. Um,
You've gotten it?
I have. It
Yeah.
it has happened to me probably twice while reading or while writing in my current series. Mainly
Pink
because
Ranger?
I didn't know how to write a leprechaun, and so I was stuck, and that was okay. Like, I had to realize you don't have to know how to do everything. You're not required to know how to do everything. And I'm a little bit different of a lit RPG author because I do not write things linear. I end up
Interesting.
right I end up writing backstories. Like, I know things and whatever else, and I kind of have to do that to be able to push forward. Like,
You're talking about just like writing character sheets and stuff.
yes.
Oh yeah,
Um
I absolutely do that. Yeah, no
yeah.
doubt about that.
Yeah, for me, like, I wrote my first book that I was telling you about, the epic fantasy. Um that one I wrote probably the first 12 or 13 chapters, and then I was like, I want to know what happened to his parents. So I wrote what happened to his parents. It's because I'm like, I need inspiration. I need to know why he's doing this. And so I ended up writing in what happened to his parents and how they became who they were,
Mm.
which then allowed me to move forward and write more about himself and how he got to that point, because I understood his parents better, and now I understood him because he's a product of his parents. And
Oh yeah. Oh, for sure.
so it helped me in that way. And that's one of the reasons why I have a lot written in my books. Like I know who Santa was before or he ended up in this fantasy world. He was literally, and this is where I can honestly say Jez was one of my inspirations. I love that Jez, before he was an author, was a welder.
Oh, I didn't
And
know that.
hmm and Santa, before or he went through all this, the job that he had was a welder. Like
No kidding.
I picture my Santa as Jez tweaked just a little bit. But but I don't think he even knows that it's the same sort of thing. Like I take my characters from real life. The people that I admire, the people that I care about and think that would make amazing people in my books. I don't want to necessarily do as some authors do, not that there's anything wrong with that, because I absolutely love TJ Lombardi for her writing as many authors and characters as he has in his book. He he writes Golem Master, and he
Mhm.
literally writes the author into his book.
Mm.
He has a lot of his Golem League champions that we have Shami Stovall, we have uh, Jez Kaja, we have all of these amazing authors. That's why we literally say it's a love letter to Lit RPG. He he wrote it to bring all these amazing authors and characters into this story, and it's amazing. Um, but going back, you said that you've not yet had writer's block.
No.
That that's a hard thing for a lot of folks. I'm not saying that lit RPG authors is do, because I haven't heard many of them have writer's block. I've heard once they get going, they have it. They know exactly what they're doing. Hey CJ.
Right.
Um,
Hello.
but I've also heard that sometimes um they have specific patterns to make sure that they're not getting writer's block,
Mm.
and that's okay.
Yeah,
But
there's a certain like curiosity here, where sometimes I almost feel like I should. If nothing else, I have to be honest. Like that's just a drive I have. I have to be very like unguarded and honest. And like I said on one of my panels, actually two of them,
mhm,
at Lit RPG Con, there's no separation between me and the prospective author. Um, when people were in the crowd asking questions, uh, inevitably, every panel you're on at Lit RPG Con, there's 5 to 6 people on the panel. A question gets asked, even if somebody doesn't have much to add, they still feel compelled to answer because they're up on the panel. They want to provide some amount of value, that sort of thing. So 20 hands go up, 2 questions get asked, the panel is over. And what I said at the very end of the final 2 panels were, if there was anything you wanted to ask or anything you have any curiosity on, there's zero separation between me and you. Let's talk. And that brought a bunch of people up because, there's like this assumption where if you're published, then like you're untouchable or something. And I mean,
mhm,
I bumped into Matt Dinneman at karaoke and kind of pushed by him because I was looking for my friend. I didn't even realize it was him at the time. I looked back, I was like, hey, Matt. Um, Normal people who are just, the circumstances are they got very popular, but
mhm,
they're probably some degree miserable about that because they're just a normal person. I think that's a lot of people, in the genre. I don't think a lot of people really, have that sort of messianic factor where
mhm,
it's like, oh, I love that everybody loves me and I'm important and I'm special. So the one thing I can say is, just when it comes to just anything, like I'm kind of an open book and I like being that way, just to talk to people. And it doesn't do anything for me in the sense of like, I feel good because I helped you.
Hmm.
And aren't I so generous and so kind and so good or whatever? It's just, how can we all grow together? How can we all be better together? Because I really do believe that a rising tide raises all ships. I'll
Absolutely.
always believe that.
Absolutely. And that's a big part of why I love Heavily RPG is we're all here to bring each other up. Like I look at Matt. I I can imagine he's helped a lot of authors because as I'm sure he answers questions. I'm sure he probably has chats. That's with people. I know that there is a group of authors that they get on Discord and they're basically muting one another um, while they're writing. But they're there so that if they do get stuck, they can be like, "Hey, can you take like 2 minutes and just listen to me? He go through my process and be like,
Oh, that's interesting. That's very
yeah."
interesting.
Um, and I'm trying to remember. I know that James Hunter does it. I think Will White is also part of that group. Correct me if I'm wrong. Um, and I think the Dakota Crowd is also part of that group that just does a Discord live, but they have each other muted, but they're are on the screen with one another so that if they should get stuck or if there's something going on, they have somebody that can listen and they can throw an idea at them. I don't think they
Hmm.
necessarily say this is what I would do. They just are there to help listen and to be able to push them past that point so that they don't stay stuck. And that's something that I don't think I've heard from very many other places. I mean, I can imagine that it probably I mean so I don't know if you have ever watched the show Castle.
I haven't. No.
Okay. So there's there's this author that he writes mystery novels and everything else. And he ends up um on this detectives group and um he's trying to find a new muse and he finds his muse in this female detective that's really good at her job and whatever else. Well, then he has a poker night with other mystery novelists. Um, and when he gets stuck, like they all come together on poker night and they talk about the, the different books that they're writing, where they've gotten
Interesting.
stuck. Heck, and they're like, "This is how I would do this," and whatever else. And I think all authors need that sort of thing. They need to be able to have that support system, a group that they can come together and be like, "Hey, this is this is what I'm stuck on. Just just discuss it with me. Like, hey, talk it out with me, hey, and I'll go from there." And I'm certain that you have that. I mean, I've seen it with you and Banjo, like you two who have this very unique friendship that's very good. And like you said, I mean, you'd love to
Well,
have him write in your universe.
he's my buddy.
Hmm.
I think I would benefit from a community like this. I don't have one though, or at least I haven't previously in writing my stuff. Uh, like I've never actually bounced the plot beat off Banjo to my knowledge. I have way too much unearned self-confidence that
It's okay.
you need to
But like I
burn
said,
away a little bit of that.
I
You
think
know,
we I think we all need that. I think we all
yeah,
he just like you said, uh, a rising tide it raises all boats. It's the
yeah.
same sort of thing.
For example, I had someone who was giving me some feedback on my second book,
Mm-hmm.
and there are a number of things I disagreed with. And that after a certain point, I just told them I don't feel like litigating this anymore with you. Thank you for your interest. I do appreciate it, like genuinely.
Yep.
But like I know how my book, the shape it needs to take, and I know why I did all of these things
Yep.
that I did. And at a certain point, it reads like arrogance, but I hope it's not taken that way. In that if you want to be, I want to be held accountable with certain things. I need people to tell me kind of what they think, what they feel, or whatever. But when somebody starts telling me what I need to do rather than how they feel about what I did, then
Mm-hmm.
they have lost the plot of what
No,
the
exactly.
relationship is.
Exactly.
Uh,
And I'm not saying that all authors need another author to come in and be like, this is how you should do this.
no, we don't need that, but we do need to be able to talk to each other because we've all done it,
Absolutely.
and to kind of bounce things off one another because we all have blind spots, especially with our own work. Like
Mm-hmm.
I still have a few typos. We all do. Even when you've read it a billion times, you
Yep.
still will slip over something that an ARC reader will go and highlight, and you'll be like, "It's in the first chapter." That's the chapter you edit the most. You're not supposed to have any left. You're not supposed to have any mistakes left in the first chapter. But and I was arrogant enough. There's that word again. I was arrogant enough to think, at the very least, there are, I can guarantee you, in books 1 and 2, there are no typos in either of the first chapters of either of those books. I thought it when I released the first one. I thought it when I released the second one. ARC readers found multiple because you start to kind of glide over it and you get into
Mm-hmm.
the flow, right?
It's true.
Which is a good thing. It tells you that your book is at least engaging you.
Mm-hmm.
So that's good.
Yes,
But at the same
absolutely.
time, the mistakes become invisible because you're just like, yeah, I wrote that. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I know what happens here. I know,
Yep.
yeah, the big guy here, you blow him up and boobity bobbity boo.
Yep.
Uh, and that's just how it works.
Yep. Absolutely. Well, I can tell you this. This has been absolutely wonderful. Um, it's it's been a little while since I've done an author interview.
Can I
I
interrupt? I'm sorry. I'm
yeah,
so sorry.
please.
Can I interrupt? Because I wanted to say this. I wrote this down. I don't remember
Yes,
where I put it. I
absolutely.
wanted to say this at the end, and I wanted to surprise you with it. Wilkie, you have been like just like endlessly positive and supportive. Not just to me, but like everybody. Like I saw you like any live I see you in, or anytime I see one of your things here. Like, my God, we need like 100, 1,000 more of you. And I mean that genuine, not just because you put me on your show, which I appreciate the heck out of, but there is a genuine quality to you, and like a certain, like a je ne sais quoi, like a zest. You have a zest for life that is, um, you're living it so fully, in a way that is, um, just it's devoid of pretension.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we all should aspire to be more like that because we all get caught up in the X's and O's and the am I a success and how do I make this viable, which we have to,
Mm-hmm.
or doing genre research or how is my work, whatever. But like the celebratory aspect that you bring to lit RPG, but not the everything is perfect all the time and everything is a
Yes.
perfect 10, but just I enjoy this and it's a community and we're all a part of it.
Mm-hmm.
That's what's important.
That is.
And
It's
that's
a
that's
huge
like the
part.
promise of lit RPG con. That's what we all kind of found there
Mm-hmm.
is we're kind of like this one undulating mass of people.
Yep.
So I do apologize for interrupting you, but I
No,
just wanted to say that because I don't
no,
know if
you are
anyone has,
absolutely
but I
right.
hope they have.
They have.
Um,
Um, that was another thing that I was going to say because I didn't want to keep you here all night. Like, I'm so glad that you're chatting with me, but I also realize it's getting late, and I'm sure you would like to spend time and with your family. Um, but
I
at
watched the
the
WNBA All Star game.
Mhm. But at the same time, that's one of the reasons why we go to Lit RPG Con is because it's the chance for us to interact with the authors that we admire and also to be able to just chat with one another. Like, how often do you actually get to be around people that you admire and that You actually get to talk with them about your book and how much you love it and how much you love their book and how much they love your book. And like
Yeah.
it's very much this feeling of if you don't have that community, I think lit RPG would absolutely fail. I truly do.
Yes. Yes.
And
We are
that's why
we
I'm
are a
so
group of
protective. Go ahead.
yeah, we are a group of weird people by and large. A lot of people have ADHD, a lot of people have autism, a lot of people have both.
Hmm.
A lot of people don't have either, but like we are generally speaking, we are a group that is very inclusive of people with a lot of different things. I have severe like ADHD. I am scatterbrained like you wouldn't believe. I forget to eat sometimes. I forgot my own birthday one year. That's just how I work. That's not a joke. I had literally forgot my birthday one year. You too?
Me too. Hmm.
So that's just how it goes sometimes.
Yep.
But it's a sense of community, but more than that, it's a genuine one and not a fake one. I think
Yep.
that's the differentiating factor that we all felt at Lit RPG Con. It wasn't just a lot of people looking to social climb. It wasn't just a lot of people looking to how can I better myself or how can I use this person. It was how can we all grow together and even more than that, how can we have fun?
Absolutely.
Like, can we just exist as people who like this, who write it, who read it, who listen to it, and just all be a part of the same thing? And only like two disruptive people I met there, and one of them got tossed.
Yes.
So,
Yes. Trust me, I've that's one of the reasons why I'm absolutely as protective as I am about lit RPG. Um,
mhm.
like everyone sees me as me. I'm very much the positive person, positive in as many aspects as I possibly can be, but I can be a real beast when it comes to anybody that is tearing down this genre or tearing down the authors or anything like that. I absolutely will, when I get my books published, I will not be able to read any of the negative comments, not because I couldn't handle them. I could handle them, but I would probably go after those people for the negatives that come, not because of me, but because I'm such a protective person of this genre. Like, these are my people, these are my friends, these are all the people that I care about. And I, like you, don't want to ever see Lit RPG go away. I want it to continue growing. I want to see it continuing to expand. But I also still like the feeling that we're still this very enclosed community, that we're still the wacky, crazy people that we are, and that we haven't gone overly, um, how do I say it, proud. That the authors aren't proud out and that they're, and trust me, we have authors that are proud of their work, but that they have not gotten to a point that they are not that humble about their writing. Like
Agreed.
being able to see every single one of these authors come to Lit RPG Con and be so excited to see their fans and to want to spend time with them and to want to be around their best friends and who are authors. Like when it gets to the point that we're no longer excited to see one another,
Yeah.
I think I think lit RPG will have failed at that point, and I hope it never happens. But like I said, I'm extremely protective of lit RPG, and I hope that it advances for the right reasons. That we don't lose what made it so special from the start, because that is what is bringing more and more people into this genre. That it's not just about Dungeon Crawler Carl. It is about Dungeon Crawler Carl. Like I won't say that what Matt has done hasn't brought a lot of people to this genre. But the funny part is when they come to this genre and then they're like, I want to write in this genre. I was a
Yes.
fan and now I want to write in this genre because there's something about it that's just so good.
I I was on a panel at Lit RPG Con, and the moderator said, anyone here want to write it all? And I immediately jumped in and said, it's Lit RPG Con. Everyone in this audience wants to write. And then I said, can we have a show of hands? And it was about 75% of the people in the audience. I asked, do you want to write or are you actively writing? Raise your hand if you feel comfortable with it. And about 75% of them put their hand up. That is just a thing with our genre, is that most, it would seem, do intend to write. And the thing that's really cool is once they do, they keep on reading.
Yep, they
It's not
do.
like they stop. They keep on reading and or listening to audiobooks. They just it becomes like a thing that like it almost be like replaces video games for a lot of them. They just
Hmm.
it's lit RPG now, which I get because man, I haven't really
Same old
played a
thing.
video game in a while.
Yeah, I mean, I'm the same way. Like, I think the last one I actually played was oh gosh, Hogwarts, uh, whatever that one is.
Legacy.
Is yes, that was the last one I played, and that was the original Hogwarts Legacy, not the newest one. Uh,
Oh, wait, what?
yeah, like I
They made another
that's
one?
yeah. Well, I mean,
Huh.
I guess they did a I don't think they did a Hogwarts Legacy 2, but they did hit update. And so
Oh,
there
okay.
are more parts to it now than there
Ah,
originally were.
okay.
But that's that's me. Like I've been so enamored by this genre that I don't think I've actually gone and played video games unless it's some of my best friends that are like, "Hey, come do something with us." And so I end up going out with them and forget for one night that lit RPG exists because I'm with my best friends. Um, but then I come back because in my job, I mean, I do pest control. And so I have audiobooks playing throughout the day. Like
Mm,
I'm listening and I'm reading new books every day. It's it's great. And like I said, that's one of the reasons why I am so protective of this genre. I'm so protective of the authors and the narrators and everything because this has become my world. This has become what what pushes me each and every day. And and to see that same passion in other authors and other narrators is just a joy to me. Like I love that there are so many of us that have that same passion and we push each other every single day. It's great.
I agree.
So, at that, I'm going to say thank you so much for sitting down and chatting with me. This has been wonderful. I usually keep my lives to about an hour, but I've just enjoyed
Oh,
this so much. No, Justin, don't apologize. Like I didn't even realize it until we were at an hour and 20 minutes. I'm like,
oh boy.
oh, this has just been too fun and to stop. But thank you for joining me here on Wilkie's World Wanderings. Thank you, everyone that has come and commented and talked. It has been absolutely a joy to have you all here. And at that, thank you for having a good night. This has been Wilkie's World Wanderings. Bye, Justin.
Auf Wiedersehen.